Despite your best intentions and the intentions of people who could have intervened, it's still possible to find yourself in a bad situation where you're alone with someone who is too sexually aggressive and possibly even a sexual predator. If this happens, it's not your fault.
It's always important to try to draw clear sexual boundaries in words and actions, and to try to say no forcefully. But if the other person isn't respecting your boundaries, they may just try harder and harder to make you submit. If you feel like you're losing the battle, try a simple technique we call verbal defense.
The idea is to use words alone to get yourself out of a bad situation. Without expressing consent, you use an attacker's intentions against them. You try to deflect the situation. Make it about something other than sex at the moment. You could say,
"You have some serious beer breath. Could you maybe go brush your teeth?"
Or,
"Oh, my Uncle Harry had heart surgery today. I promised my mom I would call. Can you just give me a minute?"
When you've talked your assailant into brushing his or her teeth, you'll walk right out of the room. When you call your mom, call 911 or a friend for help. Use Uncle Harry as a code for distress.
Get the idea? Since someone who's sexually assaulting you wrongly thinks that consent just means the absence of resistance, he or she might not take your deflections to be a problem, but it's still not consent. And if one attempt at verbal defense doesn't work, just try another, and another, and then another.
Now, some people may freeze in a situation like this, which is a common natural response. And if that happens, it's not your fault.
but if you are able to use verbal defense, keep trying everything until something works. But also remember, even if verbal defense doesn't work, it's still never, ever your fault.
So, when you find yourself alone in a dangerous situation and someone's not taking no for an answer, is all hope lost? Not anymore.
So we were all, drinking. I didn't realize that I was, going over my limit because I'm the freshman and I never really drank. And there was a gentleman that I met there as part of the club. And he was like, "Oh, I think I should walk you home." And he was the one, giving me the drinks. And then he walked me to my dorm. And I said, "Thank you." And he continued to stay, making sure that I was okay. And then the next minute, he pushed me on the bed. And then he got on top of me. And then he went for the pants. And then he'd come up, like, my chest and up my neck with, like, the scruff of his, very roughly. And that really upset me. And I was like, okay, I don't know. Something came to me, like, what are the things that affects a guy? And crying and talking about your ex-boyfriend, something just popped in my head, and I was so grateful. I started to tear up. I said, "Listen, you remind me of my ex-boyfriend, and I don't know if I can go through with it. I'm a little sad still." And he and he backed off. And I realized at that moment that I should stick with that idea and go with that, because he was very big. He was strong. I remember him being so strong. So finally, I was like, "Well, maybe we can meet tomorrow." And it was just so surreal. And he left. When I put two and two together, him walking me to my dorm and giving me the drinks, and he was a predator, because later on in the next couple of semesters, I had heard rumors that one girl didn't put up with it and turned him in.